It all started on this crisp autumn afternoon back in Michigan, when I finally moved into that old riverside cabin my grandpa left me. Man, the place was a slice of heaven, tucked away on the banks of the Huron River, with nothing but the sound of water lapping and leaves rustling to keep me company after all those grueling years grinding away at my tech startup in Detroit. I thought it'd be my escape, a spot to breathe easy, fix up the dock, maybe even add a little boathouse without anyone breathing down my neck. But nope, fate had other ideas, 'cause that's when Susan Reynolds showed up at my door, all prim and proper with that fake-as-plastic smile, acting like she owned the whole damn neighborhood as the head of our local Riverbend Homeowners Association. "Hi there, Alex," she cooed, stepping a bit too close for comfort. "I'm Susan, president of the RHA, and I'm here to welcome you to our little slice of paradise. Join us, and you'll get all the perks, like exclusive river access, community events, and hey, we'll even throw in some discounts at the local marina shops, but only if you play by our rules to keep things pristine." I could feel my gut twist right then. Pristine. This land had been in my family for generations, way before any HOA dreamed up their bylaws, and I wasn't about to let some self-crowned queen dictate how I trimmed my hedges or built on my own dirt. It was like she saw me as just another newbie she could boss around. But deep down, I knew this was about control. Her need to flex that power she'd hoarded over the years. Probably because her own life felt small without it. So I kept it cool, locked eyes with her, and said, "Thanks, but no thanks, Susan. I'm good on my own." And yeah, her smile cracked just a hair. But she pushed back with that syrupy threat disguised as advice. "Oh, Alex, I get it. Some folks like going rogue. But trust me, without us, things could get complicated. Fines, liens, you name it. We're all about protecting property values here." Complicated? That lit a fire in me. I slammed the door, heart pounding, wondering what kind of hornet's nest I'd just kicked. But man, if she thought I'd roll over, she had no clue who she was messing with. The next few days blurred by in a mix of unpacking boxes and late-night work calls, but that nagging worry about Susan kept creeping in, like a shadow I couldn't shake, until sure enough, an envelope showed up in my mailbox, all official with the RHA seal, listing out these bogus violations. Overgrown riverbank weeds, that boathouse frame I'd started without approval, and, bold as brass, failure to join mandatory association for community harmony. Harmony? It was straight-up extortion, her way of saying bend the knee or pay up, and I could picture her smirking as she signed it, feeding off that rush of making folks squirm. I laughed it off at first, but underneath, it stung. This wasn't just about rules, it was her jealousy, maybe, seeing my prime spot on the river that her cookie-cutter condo could never touch. So I called up my old buddy Mike, a sharp property lawyer from Ann Arbor who'd handled family stuff before, and laid it all out. "Mike, this Susan chick's coming at me hard. Got any ammo?" He chuckled over the line. "Alex, sounds like classic HOA overreach. Let's hit 'em back with a letter exposing their BS. And hey, dig into your grandpa's deed. Bet there's gold there." Gold there was. Turns out Grandpa had baked in these airtight clauses. No one could touch an inch without my say-so. A smart move from a guy who'd fought tooth and nail to keep developers at bay back in the 70s. Armed with that, I drafted my response, polite but pointed, attaching proof they had zero jurisdiction, and copied every neighbor in Riverbend. Why not? Let 'em see Susan's game for what it was, a power grab wrapped in community spirit. But she didn't back off. Oh no, 2 days later, another letter lands. This one ramping up to foreclosure threats, claiming my boathouse devalued the area. Devalued. It was laughable, except it wasn't, 'cause now it felt personal, like she was gunning for my legacy just to prove she could. That's when the gloves came off. I marched to the RHA office, slapped down my docs, and said to the receptionist, "Tell Susan if she wants a war, she's got one. My lawyer's on speed dial." Things escalated quick after that. Next thing I know, Susan's SUV rolls up with 2 cops in tow, her arms crossed like she'd already won, and she blurts out, "Officers, this man's defying our regulations. Time to enforce." The cops eye me warily, but I stay calm, hand over the papers. "Gentlemen, read this. Shows she's got no leg to stand on." They pore over it, faces shifting from stern to skeptical, and one finally turns to her. "Ma'am, this looks legit. You're barking up the wrong tree." Her face went beet red, priceless, that mix of rage and shock as she stammered, but the community. And they just shook their heads, tipping their hats to me before driving off, leaving her fuming in the dust. I felt a rush then, not just relief, but this spark of fight, like Grandpa was watching, nodding approval. But Susan, she lawyered up fast, dragging me to a board meeting where I walked in with a stack of evidence and a room full of neighbors I'd quietly rallied, folks like old Mr. Harlan next door, who'd whispered over coffee how Susan had fined him silly for his bird feeders years back. At that meeting, the air was thick with tension. Susan sat at the head trying to look regal, but her eyes darted when I stood up. Folks, this isn't about rules. It's harassment, plain and simple. Susan's twisted the RHA into her personal fiefdom, threatening my home because I won't bow down. But here's the proof. Grandpa's deed locks this land tight. Whispers rippled through the crowd, and when Mike laid out our countersuit for emotional damages, her lawyer squirmed, muttering objections that fell flat. Susan snapped, "You're undermining everything we've built." But it was too late. The room turned, neighbors nodding, one even clapping, and as I left I heard murmurs of, "About time someone stood up." That high didn't last, though. Susan filed a restraining order next, painting me as some hothead menace. Me? The guy who just wanted peace? But Mike shredded it in court, exposing her desperation, her fear of losing that iron grip she'd held so long. Maybe because deep down without it she was just empty. From there, it snowballed. I started eyeing the RHA's own riverfront lots, undervalued scraps they'd hoarded. Why not buy 'em out? With the land values soaring from new tourism buzz, I made quiet offers, low but fair, and owners bit. Turns out many were sick of Susan's reign too, like young couple down the bend who'd been slapped with fees for their kid's swing set. One by one, parcels fell into my lap, and I partnered with a developer pal, turning it all into a cozy riverside retreat. Cabins with fire pits, a riverside grill spot, even a kayak launch. Nothing flashy, just real community vibes. Susan caught wind and stormed over one evening, face twisted. "Alex, you think you can steal our land? This is war." I leaned on the porch rail, smirking a bit. "Steal? Nah, I bought it fair and square. And oh, that little rental you stashed for your cronies. Mine now. Gonna make a sweet guest suite." She went pale, sputtering, You can't," but turned tail, defeated, as workers hammered away in the background. But victory? Not yet. Susan vanished after that, or so it seemed, until vandalism hit the site. Smashed tools, slashed tires, cops linking it to her shady contractor buddy Charlie, who'd spilled under pressure about her secret deals, trying to fence off river chunks to mob-tied investors hungry for prime real estate. It hit me then. This wasn't just petty spite. Susan had tangled with real danger, those slick suits who'd fronted her power plays, all to carve up what wasn't theirs, driven by greed that mirrored her own control-freak ways. I confronted one, this stone-cold rep named Victor in a dingy cafe. "Sell or else," he growled, but I shot back, "Over my dead body. This is my family's blood and sweat." With evidence from Charlie, emails, wire transfers, we blew it open, cops raiding their ops, Susan surfacing in cuffs. Her empire crumbled. In the end, as I stood on the finished dock watching families kayak under the sunset, it felt surreal. Peace restored, but at what cost? Had I gone too far, turning her downfall into my gain, or was it justice served? The retreat thrives now, boosting the whole area, yet I wonder if reshaping the river like this honors Grandpa's quiet legacy, or just swaps one control for another. What do you think? Was I the hero here, or did power corrupt me too? Drop a comment below. Share your take on HOA nightmares, community justice, or if development ever truly benefits the little guy. Like if this hit home, subscribe for more real talk tales. And hey, tell me your own stories. I'd love to hear 'em.